Hello, everyone. I'm here with Sandra Koberlein for the New Brunswick Art Saloon Oil and Mixed Media exhibition. Hi, Sandra. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Okay, so when looking at your art, it's like a lot of mixed media, and I know that you use mediums such as sunlight, plant life, beeswax, and fire. I wanted to know what inspired you to choose these mediums.
I went to an art show. I went to a gallery show where the work was all done in encaustic. It was sculptural work. When I walked into the gallery, I was taken by the aroma. It was intoxicating, the aroma of the beeswax. And I didn't know that the show was about encaustic and beeswax at the time. I just went because actually the show was about altered cookbooks, and they were sculptural and they were hanging from the wall. So I went to see this show, and as I got closer to the work, I realized they were sculptural pieces that were painted with encaustic medium. And at the time, I didn't really know what that was. I wasn't thinking of what that was, but I was intrigued, and I knew I wanted to learn more. So I then took lots of classes, and now encaustic is my medium.
Mm. How has encaustic challenged your work as an artist overall?
It's a very challenging medium, but I will say before I get too far, it's a medium that there's nothing you can't do with it. So that was a positive thing. I was a mixed media artist before I learned about encaustic, like collage and putting things together, assemblage and building things. Um, and then when I learned about encaustic being the medium that it is, that it's like a glue to hold things together, it just seemed to be the medium for me. But it's very challenging and it's kind of unpredictable, but I think that's what I love about it. I like the challenge, I like learning and seeing where it takes me.
As your artist statement, travel and nature are a source of your inspiration. What places have inspired you the most? And do you frequent any place in particular that constantly inspires you?
Um, I think travel is the best thing anyone can do. As a young girl in high school, my one of my art teachers put together a trip to Italy and Greece. And I remember I was in 11th grade and my family didn't have money to help me pay for that. So I raised every penny to go on that trip with my middle school art teacher, even though I was in high school. And it was life changing. It was the first time I ever was on an airplane. It was something I personally invested in myself. And then I learned about cultures and artwork that were, historical pieces at the Vatican and unbelievable, historical pieces. And I haven't stopped traveling since. I've been fortunate that my family and we enjoy traveling together. I lived in Italy for a while. I've been to Morocco. I've been to South Africa, Western Africa, the Gambia, and I'm getting ready to go back to Colorado. My daughter's living in Colorado, and we go out to see her occasionally. So I travel a lot, and I feel like traveling is one of those things that when you go, it can be uncomfortable, and I think that's a good thing. It changes, your typical habitat, your typical daily life. It can be a little bit intimidating. But once you get there, hopefully you're able to open your eyes and open your heart and see how different people live, different cultures live, different religions, different foods, different artisans, all those things, and geography. And then when you come back, I feel like you're changed, and hopefully your artwork will then respond to the changes that you've experienced. And I've been fortunate that I've been able to do that a lot, and I hope to continue.
Okay. And what do you hope that your viewer takes away from your works? Is there any solid message you hope to send out, or is it an abstraction that is open-ended to any interpretation?
Yeah, I like the open-ended part. I paint pretty abstractly. Of course, I was trained, as most young artists are, to paint realistically. You were graded on making it look just like the real picture, or you were graded on making it look realistic, and you got lots of compliments about how it looked like. but I've moved away from that and I paint very abstractly. And I have a background in graphic design, and I think a lot of my work shows that, a lot of shapes and geometric shapes and forms. Yeah.
Okay, and what significance does discovering artist stories mean to you? Like, why has it encouraged your work, and how do you believe it is executed through your medium and encaustic?
Um, my work has changed a lot over time. I must say, I just recently turned 60. And if you looked at my work in an earlier time of my life, it was a lot different than it is now. And I think that it's just changed in the fact that I've been exposed to other things. This medium is unbelievably diverse. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's encaustic. The word encaustic means to burn in. It's a Greek word, and it means to burn in. And in the case of working with encaustic painting, you're working with beeswax, damar resin, and pigments. And the burn-in part is every layer that you paint onto the surface, the substrate, has to be burnt into the previous layer to stick together. And I try to sometimes think about that as in regards to the same as my layers of my life, how the layers keep building up. It's intriguing. Sometimes you can see through the layers. The encaustic medium can be translucent where you can see through it, or it can be opaque where you want to cover things up. But all of those things combined is what I find to be most intriguing about this medium. And once I learned about it, I've not turned around.
And final question, how has your background influenced your growth and development as an artist?
Wow. I'm a firm believer of one thing leads to another. I'm actually a high school art teacher by day. That's my day job. And I tell my students that all the time. I try to have them understand that what they do today in high school doesn't mean that's the rest of their lives. I've lived it. Everything that you do influences the next step. And I had fantastic parents who really encouraged my artwork, my creating. I was one of those girls who played in the dirt, played with sticks. I actually played with matches. I don't know where my parents were, but I played with matches and I played with fire. And now I'm playing with fire again in my studio, which is kind of ironic. But then later on, I had great influences in my schooling, my high school teachers, my middle school art teacher, my high school art teacher. I still keep in touch with them. They were huge influences in me and helped me see that I had talent and how to take it to the next step. And then eventually I went into college for commercial art and advertising. That lasted a little while, and then I had a family. But even now in my work today, you can see that graphic design. Sometimes things are very, as I mentioned earlier, very geometric and very shape-like. But everything, I think, one thing leads to another. You know, you have a background, things change, and all the influences that you have lead you to the next step.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing your work for the exhibition. For a reminder, the exhibition will be from August 27th to October 19th. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. It was wonderful to learn everything about your work.
Thank you. It's a medium that I absolutely love, and I love sharing with people. When people come into my studio or into a gallery show and they're intrigued about the medium, as a teacher myself, I love sharing that knowledge of what the medium is more so than, promoting my painting. So having a talk like this, I really, really appreciate your time and your interest.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.